In this linear equation, we have 7y on the left-hand side and 4y on the right-hand side. So that is the case when we have variables on both sides. And our goal doesn't change. We still want to get the unknown. In this case, it's y by itself. And in order to get y by itself, first we need to combine these two separate y's into a single one. And so we can get y by itself. And in order to do that, we could move y from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. But when we moved 4y to the left-hand side, we have to remember to change the sign. The reason is it's when we move 4y from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, it's equivalent to getting rid of 4y from the right-hand side. So if we want to get rid of anything, for example, we have positive 4y and we need to subtract 4y. We do the opposite of plus, which is minus. And the difference between getting rid of 4, if we just want to get rid of 4, and we would just divide by 4 because it's multiplication between 4 and y. But if we want to get rid of 4y, the entire term, we have to do the opposite of plus 4y because the operations, as you can see here, between them, in front of this is a plus sign. So in front of 4y, it's a plus sign. So we will subtract 4y, the entire 4y, and then we cancel 4y and 4y because 4y minus 4y, anything subtracted itself will give us a 0. And now we are going to combine the like terms on the left-hand side. So 7y, if we deduct 4y from 7y, we are left with 3y. And because this plus 3, we didn't really do anything. And so we're going to bring down the plus 3. And also we're going to bring down minus 2 on the right-hand side. And so the first step we did here, there are two ways to look at it. We can think of as getting rid of 4y, which it means we have to do opposite operation. If it's plus 4y, we do minus 4y. And you can also think of this as moving 4y from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, and by changing the sign from positive 4y to negative 4y. So both will work. So after this operation, notice that we had y terms on both sides, but now we only have y on the left-hand side. So we can do what we did in the previous video, and we can get rid of this plus 3. And because 3 and y, between 3 and y, it's multiplication, and multiplication has a high priority, so it's kind of considered they are much closer together than adding addition. So we subtract the 3, we deduct the 3 away, and now we are left with 3y. And then we try to get rid of 3 because between 3 and y, it's a multiplication. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. And 3 divided by 3 gives us 1, or 1y. 1y is also the same. See, 1y is also the same as y, because anything times 1 is itself. On the right-hand side, after we subtract the 3, we end up with negative 5. And negative 5, again, when we do negative 2 minus 3, we could put a little plus sign between these two numbers. So it's like $2 debt plus $3 debt. Together we have $5 debt. That's why we have a negative 5. And when we divide both sides by 3, a negative number divided by a positive number gives us negative. And also 5 divided by 3, it's already simplified. We can leave it as our answer. So again, the new thing here is we're not trying to get rid of 4. We're trying to get rid of 4y from the right-hand side. And the reason we want to do that is our final goal is to get a single y. So we cannot have y on both sides. So that's why we have to get rid of 4y. But if you say, can I get rid of 7y? Yes, we can. Then you will have to deduct 7y from both sides. And eventually you will end up with the same answer. And so again, right here, So be very careful about these two steps. And you have to be clear whether you try to get rid of 4y together or just trying to get rid of 4. So since right here, because I don't want to get rid of 3y, I just want to get rid of 3 so I can have y by itself. And between 3 and y, the operation is multiplication. I'm going to do opposite operation, which is division. But if we want to get rid of 3y, so if there are some situations, there may be situation that you want to get rid of 3y, and then you have to look at the sign in front of it, which if it's plus, then you do minus. If it's minus, you would do plus. So it depends on whether you're trying to get rid of 3y together as a term, or just getting rid of the number 3 in front of y. Now let's look at another example. So again, I highlighted the variables here. Again, we have variables on both sides. And if we want to get x by itself, we will have to get rid of one of these x terms. So here we have two options. We can either get rid of negative 3x or we can get rid of negative 11x. Both will work. But what I chose to do is to get rid of minus 11x. So again, we are getting rid of this whole thing, entire thing. So when you look at 11 and x together as one term and right in front of it, it's a minus sign. So I have to do opposite of the minus, and which is plus. So I added 11x to both sides. Now, of course, these two will cancel each other because negative 11x plus positive 11x, negative 11 plus 11 gives us 0. 11 minus 11 is 0. And x, we bring it down. When we combine like terms, we only add the quantities in front of them. But 0 times, since 0 times x is also 0, anything times x, 0 is 0. And that's why we can simply cross them out. Because when we have 0 here, if we bring down 15, 15 plus 0 will still be 15. So that's why we could just cross them out. On the left-hand side, negative 3x plus 11x. And imagine of this being negative $3 plus $11. That gives us $8, which is 8x. So the right-hand side, we brought down 15. The left-hand side, we brought down negative 7 because we didn't do anything to negative 7. And this 11x is a like term of negative 3x. We can combine them, but we cannot combine this with minus 7 because they are not like terms. One of them has x, the other doesn't. So now what we need to do is to get rid of negative 7. And because it's minus, we're going to do plus. And after we get rid of negative 7, the left-hand side only has 8x. And the right-hand side, 15 plus 7 is 22. Every time we do something to, whether it's adding 11x or adding 7, we have to make sure we do that to both sides. So now we have 8x, and the only thing left to do is to get rid of this 8. And between 8 and x, the operation is multiplication. So we do opposite of the multiplication, which is division. So we divide both sides by 8. And again, 8 divided by 8, they cancel each other. So we technically we get 1, but since anything times 1 is itself, we could just bring down x. We can just cross out 8 and 8. Now 22 over 8, it's a fraction. We just need to make sure this fraction is simplified. And notice 22 and 8, they both have 2 in common. So let's go ahead and divide both the top and the bottom number by 2. So 22 divided by 2 is 11, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. And now 11 and 4 don't have anything in common. So we can stop there because this is the simplest form.